When you are ready, Kevin, I am too.
Okay. Twitter. We're all very familiar with Twitter. Maybe when you think of Twitter, you think of it being as one of the most popular forms of social media, along with Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and others. Or maybe when you think of Twitter, you think of it being a trendsetter. We're all familiar with these twin trends. Woman Crush Wednesday, Throwback Thursday. I don't know what's next, we'll see. Or maybe when you think of Twitter, you think of our president, Donald Trump's obsession with Twitter, using it as a venting outlet, often causing controversy. But we can talk about that another time. So maybe you think of all these things as Twitter, maybe you don't think of any of them. But do you think of Twitter as a business tool? I discovered a case study conducted by the Department of Informational Systems at the University of Munster. In this case study, they focus on how Adidas uses Twitter as a promotional tool to increase their awareness of their business. They examined 289,000 of Adidas tweets, and by looking at these tweets, they discovered that Adidas places a high emphasis on Twitter. After reading through this case study, I will share 3 concepts that I believe that are important to understand about Adidas Twitter involvement and why this matters to us as we apply it to corporate communications. So the first concept that I want to share is the fact that this clicker doesn't work. Alright. Is the fact that Adidas doesn't limit themselves to only having one Twitter account. In fact, they have 28 active Twitter accounts. As you can see on the screen, here are a list of a few Twitter accounts that they have. They have Adidas Original, the original account. Adidas US, they have many different countries with their own Twitter account. Adidas News Alert, Adidas Golf, Adidas Football, pretty much any other sport that you can think of, there's an account with Adidas. And then Adidas Originals, which is another account that I'm going to talk about in a little bit. These multiple platforms allow Adidas to increase business exposure by targeting specific audiences. Take Adidas Golf, for example. When you think of the Adidas Golf followers, not to stereotype, but mostly what I would think of are middle-aged men who enjoy golfing on the weekends. Now, when I think of my dad, specifically, he's probably one of these people that would follow an Adidas Golf account, but would never follow a normal Adidas account. So by having these different accounts, they are reaching a wider diversity of people on Twitter. I was interested to see if other businesses incorporate a similar thing to their social media. So I looked up one of Adidas competitors, Nike, and also McDonald's. And both of these companies had similar systems in place. It was interesting to look through McDonald's accounts because it seemed as though they had an account for every single country in the world. I'm sure they don't, but it seemed like that. The second concept I'd like to mention is genres. And when I'm talking about genres, I'm talking about topics within an organization, or you can think of it as a subject. So Adidas uses a variety of genres throughout their extensive number of Twitter accounts. Some of the popular genres we see are product or sales promotion, wearing, which I'll talk about soon, brand statements, game, and a question and answer format. Of these, the most popular is product and sales promotion. Product promotion makes up of 36% of all Adidas tweets. These promotions display new products, advertise events, and publicize upcoming sales. An account known for using product promotion is Adidas Originals. Now, a lot of Adidas accounts will promote new products, but Adidas Originals is pretty much, that's its sole purpose, is just to do that. And so I found an example of this on the Adidas Originals account just this week. They posted about a new shoe that came out. So they said, introducing D-Erupt, disruptively simple. Nice little play on words there. And in stores March 22nd, which was yesterday, by the way, so if you're interested in this shoe, you can go ahead and buy it, because it's out there. And so here's just one example of the Adidas Originals page, and their page is full of new items like this. The next genre I'd like to mention is the wearing genre. This consists of 15% of all Adidas tweets. And this genre is just what it sounds like. A wearing genre refers to people who are wearing Adidas clothing, and often Adidas will show people wearing their clothing in a picture or a video. In this genre, it's common to see celebrities. So, for example, James Harden is one of the most common use in Adidas. If you don't know who James Harden is, he's an NBA basketball player who plays for the Houston Rockets. He's got a fierce beard, and he's sponsored by Adidas. So it is common to see James Harden in a lot of posts, and so I chose a video, rather than showing the video, here's just a still image of part of the video. And in this video, they're filming James Harden walking through a crowd of people on a street, and he's decked out in Adidas clothing. And people are all around him, like praising him, and you can tell he's a big deal there. And so their caption here for this video is "Harden's in the warehouse," at jharden13, which is James Harden's Twitter account, and at Adidas Hoops, which is Adidas basketball Twitter account. Take over. Hashtag 747 Warehouse Street. So by tagging James Harden in this post, Adidas is diversifying their own audience. So obviously, when Twitter posts something, all of their followers see it. We all know that. But when they tag James Harden, additionally, all of James Harden's followers will see that post as well. So they are really broadening the amount of people that will see a post by tagging especially celebrities like James Harden. Notice the hashtag at the end of this post, 747 Warehouse Street. A hashtag is another common thing used in Adidas Twitter. In fact, 88% of their tweets have a hashtag in them. This hashtag specifically is referring to the street that this video was filmed on. The street is outside of the Adidas headquarters in LA, and they use this hashtag in a lot of their different tweets. The last concept that I'd like to mention is monological versus dialogical communication. So to define both of them first, monological communication is directed towards a large audience, and so for our example, it would be like all of Adidas Twitter followers, all of their different 28 accounts together would be their monological audience. So Adidas Twitter accounts primarily focus on monological communication because they can post one thing and be speaking to a lot of people through only one post. And we see this as common with a lot of large organizations. They use monological communication because it is effective in reaching a large audience. The next form of communication within Twitter is dialogical. And this is directed towards individuals or small groups of people. So dialogical tweets often occur when there are suggestions, questions, or customer requests. So people reaching out to the Adidas accounts, and then Adidas in return responding to those. A lot of times Adidas specifically won't respond to a lot of requests just because of the sheer number that they do get every day. But they do, every once in a while, decide to respond to certain ones. And a lot of times Adidas will, what the article called it, as playing games with followers. And what this means is just lighthearted comments directed towards the Twitter followers. This makes people feel important and appreciated as well as cared for. And this connects the company to their customers on a personal level rather than such a corporate and customer relation. So we see that Adidas strives to have a good balance of monological and dialogical communication. Since they are such a large business, they do focus more on monological because they can reach a large variety of people, but they also acknowledge that it is important to have dialogical communication in order to have a personal relationship with their customers. We also see that monological communication is used in many corporate contexts, not just Adidas, but that the larger the company is, the more likely they are to use monological communication. So in conclusion, there are many ways to approach communication in organizations. As technology continues to increase, our communication mediums change. With so many communication methods, corporations must choose which forms of communications to use. Adidas uses multiple communication forms, but their Twitter platform is producing business each day. We can learn from Adidas' effective communication within social media and apply it to our practice of communicating in organizations. Thank you.